Hi class, this is Course 2, Lesson 16, U.S. Customary System and Function Tables. Okay, so the customary system is used in the United States to record measurement. The metric system is used in most countries. We still use the U.S. customary system, and that can be a little bit complicated, so here are some conversions that you'll want to have written down in your notes. So when we're talking about units of weight, 16 ounces, and then in parentheses this is going to tell you the abbreviation. So 16 ounces equals 1 pound, or you can work it backwards the other way. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Okay, so that's how you read these charts. 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. I should also point out that you can put this in any order in your notes. You can have them side by side, you can have them in just one table. That's up to you. This is just how it fit on my screen for you. Over here on the right side, units of length, we have 12 inches in 1 foot, 3 feet in 1 yard, 1,760 yards in 1 mile, 5,280 feet in 1 mile. And again, these work backwards. So if you're talking miles, you can think, oh, there are 5,280 feet. Okay. Units of liquid measure. I put pictures down below here, what they look like, and each one is half the size of the other one. Notice that it adds a half gallon, and we don't have half gallon on our list here, but frequently you do buy milk in half gallon containers. So units of liquid measure, 8 ounces equals 1 cup. Now do not get confused between the 16 ounces in a pound and 8 ounces in a cup. Sometimes you'll see these ounces recorded as FLOZ, fluid ounces, or just OZ. Okay, so 8 ounces in 1 cup, 2 cups equal a pint, 2 pints equal a quart, 4 quarts equal a gallon, and again you can work backwards. 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. 1 pint equals 2 cups. When dealing with temperature, we use the Fahrenheit system. So water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Normal body temperature is 98.6 degrees. Room temp 68 degrees, and water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so function tables. Function tables are a way of keeping track of information. The function is a mathematical term describing a relationship. Okay. What you're going to want to keep in mind is that there'll be a rule, and then we can write equations or expressions around them. So there's a lot of math in this table that we're going to hint on here, and then we'll build upon later. So basically it's a 2-column chart, and we're going to have several rows in it, and the left side is going to be your input column. Okay, so this will be input, and your output column is over on the right. But we don't need to write input and output. Okay, I'm only putting that on there so that you can see what we're talking about. So in future input output tables or in function tables, you're not going to have input and output on there. Okay, what you are going to have in that first row is what we are talking about in the columns. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to make a function table for the number of feet, which is our output, in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 yards input. Okay, now I know that this confuses you a little bit, but where it says output, that is back here. Make a function table for the number of feet, which is the output. Okay, so right there we're going to take that and we're going to put this in the right hand column because that's the output. Okay, then it says in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 yards, which is our input. So yards goes here, and it tells us in the input what numbers to use. So we're going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now that's an important thing to note about input tables or function tables. You pick the input. The output is what happens. Okay, so it's what happens after the function. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little story. Think about what happens when you go to a pop machine. Okay, the pop machine is going to act as the function. So your input is the money, and you put your money into the pop machine, and then after you push the button, your money is transformed into a can of pop or into a bottle of pop. Okay, so that's input, like money. Function is the pop machine, and your output is the can of pop. Okay, that's what we're doing here. We're changing money into pop while we're changing yards into feet, and the function is going to, we're going to figure out what that is here in just a minute. Okay, so yards to feet. We need to fill in the output side of the function table. So yards to feet. And if you don't remember, you look back up on your notes. I'll flip the chart or my page back here, and I'm going to find units of length, feet, and yards. So 1 yard equals 3 feet. Okay, so I can use that fact. 1 yard equals 3 feet. Well, then how many yards would be in 2 feet? Well, there'd be 6, and 3, 9, 4 would be 12, and 5 would be 15. Okay, so we filled in the function table. So describe the rule. Now this is very specific. Okay, we need to tell how we can get the output no matter what number we put in for input. So you can't say you're going to add 3. Okay, yeah, that's what you might have done to get the next one, but that doesn't work, because if I said how many yards, use the function table to figure out how many yards there were, or feet there are in yards. If I said 5 and you said add 3, that'd be 8, and that's not right. So most of the time your rule will be multiplication or division. Okay, so think multiplication and division first. So what do we do here? Given the yards, we're going to multiply the number of yards by 3 to get the number of feet. Okay. This is important because this tells me what we're doing in the function table. The number of yards would be our input. We multiply that by 3, and then the number of feet is our output. You need to have all of that when you're describing a rule. Okay, now, using the function table, how many feet are in 8 yards? Okay, so what this means is, it doesn't mean you have to extend the function table. It means that I can use this rule that we developed. We're going to multiply the number of yards, 8, times 3, that's our rule, to get the number of feet. And then we label it so that we know what we're talking about. Okay, that's function tables. Now, you need to make sure that you study all of these customary system conversions and facts. You'll have to know these for tests and problems, and the more familiar you get with these facts, the better off you'll be. Okay? Please let me know if you have questions, and I will see you in class.